So, hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mels Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now, very similar to our last trophy hunting video, we're actually starting off here on Rancho del Arroyo, where most of the video is actually going to be taking place on Askiy Ridge. But once again, the Rancho Mule Deer Grind has produced an incredible rare that just has to go in a trophy video. My first ever Leucistic Mule Deer, and it is a gigantic max weight estimate level 4 buck. And in this evening light, he looks like he glows golden. When I looked over and I saw this guy, I'll fully admit, I actually kind of thought for a second I was looking at a great one. I'd never seen a Leucistic in person in game. I'd only seen pictures of them, and the way he was glowing in that light just looked so much more dramatic than any screenshot I had seen of the Leucistic for these guys. They are absolutely stunning, and I feel like the harvest screen kind of dulls that colour a little bit. They really remind me of the one variation for the Leucistic Sambar, which is again like a goldenish colour. Because again, in that light, in the daylight, it stood out so much. He was shining, glowing. Just this absolutely incredible sight. And honestly, to get my first Leucistic and have it being a buck of this caliber was just awesome. Like, I was in total awe for a minute of just what was I looking at. Absolutely awesome. Now, sticking with mule deer, but heading over to Askiy Ridge, where we will be for the rest of the video, because we have a lot of trophies that we are still after on Askiy Ridge. And we're actually on my Askiy Mule Deer grind. Now, I'm not grinding per se on Askiy anymore, and most of my mule deer grinding has moved over to Rancho. However, what I did decide is that I would end up shooting does mainly on my single player Askiy for rares, for specific multi-mounts with future potential great ones. But we had already on the map this beautiful piebald mule deer doe that had been there for basically the entire time I had grinded on Askiy Ridge. And I had just been leaving her because I didn't really want to take her out. And I didn't want there to be the potential of maybe a buck ending up there or, anything like that. So I had just been leaving her, but now we're not focusing on great one grinding on Askiy and we're just focusing on shooting does. It was the perfect opportunity to actually go and take her out. And she is absolutely gorgeous. I thought it every time I saw her during my grinding over on Askiy. Every time I'd see her, I thought she was just such a beautiful looking deer. And with these new models that these guys got with Askiy, and the updated fur textures and the updated rares, I mean, it's just such a beautiful looking animal. This particular piebald, I think, looks really, really stunning. And I have a specific plan for a multi-mount that I would really, really like to do. It involves getting a specific great one for the mule deer, and then I would need one more specific rare doe. If we can do it, it will be one of my favourite multi-mounts, but, things have got to work out first, so I'm just hoping that eventually, maybe it's something that will happen, but at least we have one piece of that 3-piece multi-mount ready to go if we get the other pieces. And speaking of rare does, I ended up finding this in multiplayer, a dilute mule deer doe. Now, as I was saying, I kind of need some rare does for, multi-mounts with great ones. And this is a perfect candidate for that, a dilute doe. So, yeah, I was actually really pleased to get this. Normally it's more exciting to get male rares for a lot of things, but I was very excited to actually see a rare doe. Mule deer does at the minute are something I'm actually very interested in trying to get trophies for. So maybe not the norm for what we'd be going after, but something I was definitely really happy to get. Now, again in multiplayer, whilst I was hunting Manitoban elk looking for rares, I ended up spotting this guy, a level 9 grey wolf. Now, if you have seen any of the streams I've been doing, you'll know I have actually had encounters with 2 legendary grey wolves on my single player ski map. Actually, when I was grinding muled it on a ski, they were both at the same lake, different times, but at the same lake, and both ended up trolling. Well, finally, in multiplayer, we end up with a diamond wolf, for the first time actually shooting one with the new models. Of course, all of the old wolf trophies in my trophy lodge have got the new models. You know, that's something that happened with the update. Any old wolf trophies got updated to having the new models, which is lovely. But there's always something cool about getting to actually shoot one in, you know, a live map in the game, rather than just seeing them transform in the trophy lodge. So that was really, really cool. And sticking with diamonds, look what I ended up finding! After so much time looking for trophy beavers, we ended up with, you know, 1 diamond and then 1 rare in the previous trophy hunting video. And now for this video, we have another diamond, which is just absolutely insane. And this one is actually bigger than my first diamond at 31.29. So this is an upgrade from the first diamond that we ended up shooting. So yeah, I was very, very pleased. It seems like the diamond North American beavers are pretty hard to get. Just in general, there doesn't seem to be a lot of them, and, you know, with them having such small vitals, and, you know, there's always the potential, because of them being in the water a lot, that can make a shot trickier. They just seem to be quite rare to actually get as diamonds. So for me to now have 2, super happy about that. And because I shot her in the water, you can actually see that one back foot splayed out from her swimming, which I thought was really cool, and just a really nice detail to actually be able to see in the harvest screen like that. Now, if you have seen a couple of my previous trophy hunting videos, you'll know that I've been focusing on trying to get some rare wood bison, and we've had a couple of melanistics, but this time we do have something a little bit different, even though it looks very, very similar. We have a dark brown female wood bison. Now, believe it or not, dark brown is actually a rare for the wood bison, and it looks very, very similar to the melanistics. If you're looking at a herd of bison and you see one that looks a lot darker than, like, the other bison, but maybe doesn't look completely jet black, you could well be looking at a dark brown. And something that I noticed that helped me actually pick this one out amongst the herd was the fact that it was just the same colour all over. It's not like it had, you know, half of its body was like a lighter brown, and then, you know, the rest of the body was a darker brown. The whole animal was like a very similar, almost exactly the same even colour. And that's like the same thing with the melanistics, but it does have that brown hue to it. So very similar identification to the melanistics, and, you know, having the snow on it here in the harvest screen is actually detrimental for talking about, you know, what you're supposed to look for those. But yeah, just anything that looks slightly darker for wood bison, I would either pick up the tracks or shoot it, you know, whichever, just to make sure you end up taking it down, because it could either be a melanistic or it could be a dark brown, and either would be a rare. Now, once again, whilst hunting for rare wood bison, I came across a rare, but this time not for wood bison. This time we have a rare pronghorn. Now, this is the first rare pronghorn I've shot since these guys got their new models, new furs, new textures. And it's a piebald, quite clearly. And actually, this is a rare where they look much better on the hoof than they do in the harvest screen. In the harvest screen, I feel like the lighting makes this piebald look a lot more washed out, whereas there's more contrast between sort of the tan colour and the white when you actually see them, because I saw it and thought, oh, that is actually quite noticeable. Now, I know I have seen pictures of piebald pronghorn in people's lodges that barely look any different, so I feel like the lighting affects these guys a lot, and I do wish that maybe the sort of light brown tan colour fur was a bit darker just to make that contrast pop a little bit more. But that is actually quite a cool looking piebald in every other aspect to me. Like, there's actually quite a lot of white, like, around the face and on the one side, like, towards the hindquarters, and it is different on both sides. So yeah, I think it's quite a cool looking rare, but one that I wish they'd maybe just increase the contrast on just a little bit. Sticking with the theme of rares though, and we got something that I have been really hoping to see, and I could see that this beautiful snow goose was different as it was actually coming in, and I wasn't sure to start off with what exactly I was seeing, but as she got closer and closer, I could just definitely tell that this was what I was actually hoping it was. That is a hybrid snow goose, which is just absolutely gorgeous. The hybrid snow geese have such amazing patterning, and they also have like a darker, almost like smoky colour beak. They're just so beautiful, and I love all the fine like markings in the feathers. Like, look at all of the tiny little details in there to make it look patchy on those feathers. I feel like that's something that goes unappreciated. And all of the mottling on the neck, just a stunning bird. Now, if you have one of these and you've put it in your trophy lodge, you'll probably have noticed very quickly, like I did, that when you put them in the trophy lodge, they display as the normal common white morph. Now, that is an issue the developers are aware of, and it seems like it is something that is, you know, going to be fixed. So I'm not worried about that. It's a shame that on my little snow goose display, it currently doesn't look like this, but I know it will eventually, and that's all that to me really matters, is knowing that eventually it will be fixed, because this is such a beautiful bird. And like I said, just so unique. Even the toes on the feet you can see are like that sort of smoky black colour as well. Just a lot of detail in what I suppose is one of the less colourful rares, but that doesn't make it in any way, to me, like, less cool, because there's just so much to it that I think that is a really gorgeous bird. And going from one gorgeous bird to another, we have our second ever level 3 wood duck. Now, it took me ages to get a diamond wood duck, despite a lot of people having quite a lot of luck with them. But just again, can we look at that iridescence and appreciate it? Every time I'm gonna talk about it, because it's amazing, and for someone like me who absolutely loves like all those details, seeing how well the artists for this game are able to capture it always blows my mind. Like, that is just amazing to me every time, just absolutely perfect. And this guy ends up being bigger than my first diamond wood duck. So similar to the diamond beaver earlier in this video being an upgrade, this is also an upgrade. And it's just, like I said, just a gorgeous bird. I hope in the future we get some multi-mounts for the wood duck, because they are just incredible. And we ended up getting another wood duck trophy in this video. This time it's a rare, and it's a rare female. Now, I actually saw this bird and it took off and I wasn't able to get a shot at it, but put the decoys down and eventually she did come in to the decoys. And it was just so obvious that she was different. Just this beautiful silvery grey duck. And she is actually a dilute silver, which I absolutely love this rare. I absolutely love this rare. When we found out that wood ducks were coming with a ski ridge, one of the rares that I hoped for the most was dilute silver, because literally only a couple of weeks before we found out about wood ducks coming to this map and we saw the reveal pictures, I had actually seen on social media a picture of dilute silver wood ducks in real life, and I was so captivated by their beauty that I remember saying to friends of mine, like, out of all of the rares that they could have, like even melanistic and albino, like I was like, okay, I really hope they've got those, but I really hope they have the dilute silver, because there was just something about them that to me was so gorgeous. And they've done such a good job capturing it in game. Those bright orange feet, in contrast, just look amazing. And to finish this video off, we have another incredible rare. Literally my dream rare for Manitoban elk. We have a Piebald bull. And not only is it a Piebald bull, but it's a big level 4. Max weight estimate level 4. And it literally just started to snow as I hit record. Look at that. Those ice blue eyes, all of that detail in the fur on the face, and like the darker brown on like the front of the front legs, and then like it goes to the lighter brown, and then the white underbelly, the pink nose. Everything about this is so cool. One of my top favourite piebalds in the entire game. And this is my favourite elk species. This is just, for me, like I said, an absolute dream rare. Out of all of the rares for Manitoban elk, the one thing I've been hoping to find was a piebald bull. And I'd really like to find a piebald cow as well, because they're gorgeous. They're like white with lots of little black spots. They almost look like Dalmatians. But a piebald bull with these just insanely beautiful markings was right up the top of my list for DREAM Askiy rares. So to get one and it to be such a cool looking bull with really good size antlers is just fantastic. I couldn't have hoped for better. What an amazing, amazing trophy that I am over the moon with. But that is going to be it for this video. A lot of, for me, really cool trophies in here. I mean, like, getting a couple of dream trophies with that Leucistic Mule deer and then this amazing elk. So I'm absolutely stoked and I cannot wait to share this with you all. Some just trophies that I'm just so excited about. Honestly, so excited about. But that is going to be it for this one. So thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.